What is up, guys? Welcome to this video. My name is Lucas, and in this one I'm going to be telling you how to transcend your current self. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe because it helps my channel to grow, and I greatly appreciate that. This video is nothing more than a brief introduction to transcending your current self and your current conditioning towards something that you find more desirable. Nothing more than an introduction. And by the end of this video, I will give you some valuable resources for assisting you with this. But how do you transcend your current self? And what is that? Now, how I'm going to be talking about it in this video is just transcending your current level of consciousness, level of development, and basically rewiring yourself so that you are a more functional human being. And I'm going to make this one quick. And I'm going to give you possibly the number one trick to doing this. And it really is, in a sense, a trick. Like, quite literally a trick. And the reason why I say that is because the trick is not in the tactic or, the formula that I'm going to give you, but the trick is actually you. You're the trick. What the hell does this guy mean, I'm the trick? Your current self is actually just a story. What? What does he mean I'm just a story? How can I be just a story? Look, here it is. This is it. This is myself. What? And then I have my birth, and I have all these stories in my head. And the word story here is really important. I have all these memories, I have all these stories of myself, I have all these mental images, I have all these ideas of myself. And this is me. And that's it. And this is just what happened. This is just my life. No. No. That is not just you. That is not just your life. I'm going to tell you very briefly a little bit about how you function. You have a psychological self. When I ask you, who are you? What arises? I am a teacher. I am a male, a female. I am Lucas. I am whatever. I gotta sneeze. I'm a weightlifter. I'm an actress. I'm a loser. I'm intelligent. I'm smart. I have a boyfriend. I have a girlfriend. I'm good with women. I'm good with men. I'm funny. I'm humorous. I can't make a lot of money. I can make a lot of money. And just notice you have this very elaborate narrative about yourself. And we'll call that yourself, your psychological self. And this is an artificially constructed self. This is nothing more than a web of conditioning that you've actually just repeated in your head until it's gained a bunch of momentum, kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill, until it's gained enough momentum, and it seems very solid and very real. And really what I'm going to be doing with this psychological self, or this snowball rolling down the hill, is I'm basically going to show you a little bit about how it functions in this video. Now, I want you to recall any past memory. Maybe when you were in first grade and something happened, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, when you were young, or any memory whatsoever. And I want you to notice whether or not you are convinced that that is actually what happened. That this morning, I walked down the stairs and I ate what I ate. This is what happened this morning. And I want you to realize that's not what happened this morning. There's a lot of, number one, we'll start it very simple. There's a lot of details that your mind is missing, like the sensation of your foot on the floor, or the placement of certain objects. There's a hell of a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happened that you did not account for in here. Okay, very simple. This is a brief start to this introduction. This is the introduction to this introduction. Right off the bat, we can immediately notice, okay, I left out some details, but I mean, what does this really matter? And now I want you to recall something more personal, maybe, nothing too horrible, but typically something that really bothered you is a perfect example. Maybe like a breakup or an argument of any kind. This person did this, and then it made me feel this way, and it's this memory, this idea that I have about what happened. This is it. No. That is not it. Whether it's an old argument with someone, or some kind of breakup, or some sort of thing that happened in a workplace, or any sort of relationship with anyone, any sort of memory, that's not what happened. When you are recalling something, right off the bat, I want you to recognize that you're adding a layer of meaning on top of it that wasn't there before. You brought it from the depths of your subconscious into your conscious mind. You analyzed it. You gave it a whole bunch of new meanings and ideas. You added to the memory, artificially added to the memory, and then you tucked it away, back to the subconscious, back into the depths of your mind. That's a hell of a thing right there. You pulled out a memory which was already very limited and distorted. You distorted it even further, and then by the end of that process, you left it with a sense of, this is real, with this is true. That's a hell of a mechanism right there. That's a really mind-blowing thing, that all of your memories are deeply bullshit. They're deeply distorted. Like, very 100% of them. Not like half of them are distorted. No, 100% of the memories that you pull out of your head and analyze in this moment, you add to them, you distort them. You add things that weren't there. You see it from your perspective, but not from the other person's perspective. You see it from your meanings, but not from the other person's meanings. You see it from a very self-biased lens. And I want you to also notice that this psychological self that I was just talking about, this thing that you believe you are, this set of ideas that, represents, who you think you are. I'm a teacher, I'm this, I'm that, I'm rich, I'm poor. This identity, this psychological identity that you construct, it is picking and choosing from all sorts of different stories and memories that happened in your life to create a very deep sense of continuity and a sense of, this is real, this is who I am, this identity is who I am, this I am an asshole, I am so polite. That is who I am. See, if you believe that you are a polite person, you might not want to look at the times where you were an asshole. If you're a very smart person, you don't like the times when, if you believe you're a very smart person, you don't like looking at the times when you believe you were being very stupid. Unless, of course, you're very aware of this and you're not very afraid to look at, a lot of stuff. You're not very close-minded to these contradictory information. So I want you to notice that your mind is very carefully picking and choosing information to serve itself so that it creates this ongoing sense of self, this psychological self. It's picking and choosing. It's adding very specific meanings so that it's like a stream. It's like a river flowing, and it likes to add more water to keep this river flowing. But the catch is this isn't fresh water. This is water loaded with diarrhea crap. This is totally garbage. Like, this is something that you could not pay a guy $10,000 to swim in because of just how gross it is. And this is basically what's happening. And this is a rather, maybe a tricky thing for some people to admit, because they don't like to look at their own crap, how delusional their own mind is. And self-bias and self-deception, no one ever, for as long as they have a mind, is excused from these. They are always subject to these. These are always possibilities. And these are very, unless you take this very seriously, these are massive. This is massive in people's lives, loaded with delusion and self-deception and self-bias and just unable to see reality clearly. We like to see things for how we are instead of for how it is. We like to add our own little meanings and prioritize them, our own self-agenda and prioritize them, our own ideas and think it's so important. We add a lot of value even on our own thinking. As you're thinking in your head right now, you can even notice there's a background sense of importance being placed on the thoughts. So I want you to notice how you pull out memories, you pull out your whole self-story, and if you want to transcend your current self, you got to realize it's actually just a set of beliefs about yourself, it's a story, and you distort it. You rearrange information, you give things new meanings, you take away meanings so that you can have this particular self-image. And the number one trick, the number one sort of tactic or strategy, the trick is you fooling yourself, but the number one strategy for transcending this particular self that you believe you are to a more functional one, a more desirable one, the number one trick is realizing that it is not true. That your self-narrative is not true. That's it. Truth. That is what is important. And that the you that you believe you are, I am weak or I am very strong, this simply just isn't very true. And we're very attached to our identity. As you question your identity, you can realize there's a sense of like, ugh, disgust almost with it, like realizing like, oh, I am not the name I was given. I am not this particular job that I'm at. Because if I quit my job, okay, like I can't be a cashier. You know, I can't be what I am if I quit the job. I'm no longer a cashier. Okay, so that's not what I am. This is like something I've added on top of my identity. I can't be my name. I can't be Lucas, because if I was named John, I'd just be John. If I was named Blueberries, I would just be Blueberries. Now, this is absolutely huge because these are all beliefs about yourself. If you rewire these beliefs about yourself, you change the self because the beliefs make up who you are. The beliefs are who you are as a sort of relative human being, you know, in this relative world. That's who you are. That's what makes you up. This psychological identity, that's what it is. It's a collection of ideas. Change the ideas, you change the self. And you can't do this through some airy-fairy positive thinking, like, I don't know, law of attraction, the fairies and all this crap. There's a very practical component to this. And that is being aware of the story that you tell yourself and the story that you spin about other people, the story that you spin about circumstances, the ideas and the meanings that you give everything, being aware of how you're ongoingly doing this thing and rewriting the script. So number one is awareness. Number two is intention to rewrite. These go together. If you're not aware, you're screwed because you're just not aware of it, you're ignorant. If you don't have the intention to rewrite this programming, these sort of behavioral patterns, these self-image, you know, these ideas you have about yourself, if you don't intend to rewrite them, well, then they're just going to stay the same. If you're only aware of them with no intention to rewrite them, you're just going to be aware of them. So you have to be aware of them with the intention to rewrite them to change yourself, to transcend your current self. Maybe in some areas you're satisfied with, you know, how you behave and all this stuff. You're very satisfied with it. So you can just be aware of it. You don't see much of a need to change in a particular circumstance. But then you notice, oh man, the way I'm relating to this person in this scenario is really screwing up my relationship with them, or it's screwing up my ability to make money, or it's screwing up my emotional health. Okay, like there's stuff to rewire here. So you be aware of it with the intention to rewrite it. So this is kind of interesting, at least to me it is. You can check out my older videos, Are You In Autopilot? And then the one after that, I forgot what it's called, but maybe it's the one, I don't remember. I think it's How to Quit Any Toxic Habit, or How to Quit Your Toxic Habits. It's my last two videos. These are crucial for this, really. Those videos will help you a lot. They go more in depth. But that's it for this video. To sum it up, you have to change the self-narrative that you're constructing about yourself, because that is what you are. You have a massive self-narrative, like this is me, my story, my name, my job, and all of this is very sort of arbitrary. You could have had a different job. You could have had a different name. You could have had a different story. But what would be you? So you are really, even your physical body, you're basically a set of just arbitrary things, really. Like just a bunch of a collection of just very arbitrary ideas and like substances. For example, your body, it's made out of the food you eat. So you ate this banana instead of that banana, and that banana, becomes you. So it's like, you're just a collection of almost random stuff that you came into contact with in your environment. And then you built this whole mental framework or psychological self around this. So if you change the self-beliefs, you change the self, and you have a new experience of who and what you are. That's it for this video. If you guys enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. Any questions at all, comment. I'll help you out. Other than that, peace out.